Welcome, everybody. I'm sorry to disappoint, but there is not a Vivillon form for every type. It's not possible. The only occasions where I can change the typing of specific forms is if it's listed as a separate entity in the game files with a editable type and stats, like, for example, Gastrodon. In this case, nope, can't do it, as much as I would have loved to. So, to compensate, they do have the ability versatility, and there will be an island scan available later on, similar to Sawsbuck, that has ice type moves and will be the polar or ice type looking form. I don't know if it's called polar. The one that's white, like, it looks like snow. Let me actually quickly check. But that doesn't stop me from making them awesome. So not only do they have versatility, which is unique among the bug flying types, although technically Ninjask has it as well. Ninjask is more of a physical attacker, and I just feel like versatility fits Vivillon too much, given that they are literally like this Pokemon that changes forms depending on the climate. And then adaptability was already taken up by Mothim. You could argue I could have swapped the two, but then Vivillon doesn't have that cool little exclusive ice type changer. And then if I made versatility a hidden ability on that specific ice type one, then that one kind of gets destroyed into the stick because it can't switch using that infinite usability capsule to multi-scale, which is also a great ability. Speaking of, that's the reason I picked multi-scale. Number one, very good ability, makes them all viable. Balancing the bug flying types was an absolute fucking nightmare in terms of making them unique from one another, because they're all like, especially like Butterfree, Vivillon, and Beautifly, like Mothim, all those guys, like they're so similar stat wise, like no matter what I do, that I really have to make sure those abilities and move pools make them stand out from one another. And I think I did a pretty damn good job. But yeah, Vivillon is the scale Pokemon, so there you go, scales. Also, you might be thinking, okay, you have this Island Scan one that's ice type, or that can change into an ice type. Why don't you do that for more of the patterns? And if I end up with enough space, I would gladly do it for more patterns. I highly doubt I'll have enough space though, because all of the island scans, gift Pokemon, static encounters, all that stuff, in-game trains, those are all taken up by other more important things that won't fit elsewhere, because this is a NatDex hack with all Pokemon in it. So I doubt I'll have room for more than one Vivillon form. I think this is still cool enough, though. It's pretty damn nice to be able to turn into an ice type, and you have your other good coverage moves as well. And obviously, this is not to say that, oh, well, Vivillon's shit unless you have the ice type one. It's just a nice, cute little luxury that you'll have around Tapu Village, which is pretty late into the game. Vivillon is available from the beginning, and it's also was created to, like all Pokemon, it was created to be viable until the end of the game because of the moves that it learns, because of its stat distribution, because of most importantly the moves and the abilities, because the stats aren't too great for this hack standards. They're good though. 80, 63, 90 with multi-scale is pretty damn tanky. You can definitely take some hits. You don't have to worry about entry hazards in game. Those are not a factor, so you don't have to worry about losing your multi-scale that way. It does have bug flying without having to worry about hazards. It's actually a pretty good typing defensively. It has 4 times resistance to grass and fighting, and then a bunch of other useful resistances as well, and not that many weaknesses actually. It's not terrible. It's not a bad typing whatsoever. And keep in mind, versatility allows you to turn into something like grass, fairy, psychic, ghost, poison. You could turn into all types of different types, as well as your stab, obviously bug and flying. And then multi-scale is really good with your setup moves, especially, or utility moves for earlier in the game. Vivillon is not purely just a ha quiver dance button, compound eyes hurricane. Keep in mind, compound eyes has been repurposed into an ability called Sixth Sense, because all of the bug types would rather have something. I mean, half of the ones that had compound eyes would rather have tinted lens or something, and then there's all kinds of other really cool abilities that fit them. While Sixth Sense, I think, is a really cool ability. Well, compound eyes is just kind of boring. Like, oh my god, hurricane, oh my god, sleep powder, yay! Like, it's just kind of fucking boring, and they would all do the same thing. So I'm not a huge fan of that. But yeah, multi-scale is awesome. You have Omni boosting Z moves. You have several. So the first one you'll learn is Camouflage at 38, which is really cool with Nature Power, or just flat out Psychic or Energy Ball. Because what Z Camouflage will do is it will obviously, regular Camouflage will change your type to match the terrain. So terrain TMs, especially Grassy and Electric, are very viable now. Not to mention there are almost 10 of each terrain like setting abilities Pokemon in this game, so you can easily just have that. You can use like Electric Surge Pokemon, Parting Shot / Volt Switch, or U-Turn into your Vivillon, and then you can Z Camouflage with that multi-scale up and get that stab on your electric move, and then you can go for either Electro Web or Nature Power for Thunderbolt, depending on if you need, I don't know, either one is fine. Electro Web's not terrible, 60 base power. And that's pretty cool. And then you'll get an Omni Boost. You'll become much faster, much stronger, and much bulkier. So that's really, really fun. And then later on, you'll get a custom a couple levels later, which will change your type to resist the most recently used move by the opponent, which isn't too great, but maybe if you don't want it over camouflage, you can be kind of smart with a custom. And then later at level 50, at 46, you get powder. So it's every 4 levels basically. From 38, you get powder. Powder is their previously signature move, which tons of new Pokemon have. And that not only is a priority move that completely shuts down fire type moves and makes the opponent take 25% damage. It is also an omni boosting move, and that's really good because it's priority. So you can use that before, like say, 95 base speed isn't that great. So you can use that priority powder, get that omni boost before they can attack you, and then at +1 defense, +1 speed def, and multi-scale, you can definitely tank all kinds of hits, even super effective attacks, especially on the special side. You can tank them for sure. You can also EV to live certain hits because you do have access to that infinite usability capsule, infinite EV training items, and that permanent trainer sheets. Well, that was not the right word to use, but trainer sheets that you can use to customize your move sets and all that stuff for specific fights, and that's really fun with powder. Powder's awesome. All right, and you can also use that. You can just spam it. I believe I nerfed the PP just so you can't completely cheese the AI and spam it 4 times in a row. And for example, versus Kiawe, like if it had, say, for example, 10 PP, you could just press it 10 times and kill 2 Pokemon because they're just going to keep using fire moves on you. I'm not going to do that. I believe it has 1 to 5 PP. I forget exactly. I'm way too lazy to check it because if I switch to tabs right now to that move sheet, by the way, if you're listening this far into the video and you are new here, check out that move sheet down below. I buffed and changed 600 moves in this hack, but probably you already know that by now if you listen this far in. Yeah, powder. I'm way too lazy to switch tabs because it'll lag because I'm recording, so I'll leave it off. Bug Bomber, very, very good stab. Bug Buzz, very good stab. Aeroblast, Hurricane, all these moves are buffed or changed or just are brand new moves, and those are overly strong. Calm Mind is really nice with multi-scale, especially with Roost. You can get that multi-scale back. You also have Siphon, which is essentially like a bug-type Draining Kiss, which is really cool, or literal Draining Kiss with versatility, but I don't know why you would want that. It's just there for flavor. I guess for Hala it's solid, but otherwise you wouldn't want it past Hala, while Siphon is just a solid move the whole time. You could even run both because fighting doesn't resist bug. But anyway, yeah, also this guy is very great for Hala. All types of Pokemon are great for Hala. Nothing too crazy. They are still weak to Hala's coverage moves and stuff, but still pretty cool to have. But yeah, lastly, your last Omni Boost move is Acclimate. The Acclimate will change the type, change your typing to match the typing at the top of your learn set. So any of your coverage moves, you will get stab on them, and you can use that with multi-scale. Those are super great. But powder, you could argue, is a little bit better because it's priority, so it just depends on the situation. Powder has priority, while Acclimate gives you stab on any type, so you can become a pure poison, pure grass, pure psychic, pure ghost. Shadow Ball probably being one of the best ones because you have the customizability, so you could just run whatever coverage move is most beneficial for that boss fight. That's really fun. And then lastly, level 55, you do get Quiver Dance, which sadly was changed to only give you special attack and speed, because tons of new Pokemon have Quiver Dance, and it would be pretty broken if it boosted speed up as well. Also, setup moves in general have nerfed PP, and there's also priority phasing moves, so it's not just I sweep trainer battle with this Pokemon every time. It's more of, if I plan correctly and I'm smart, I can maybe kill half their team until their phasing Pokemon forces me out. The good thing is that Vivillon does resist first impression, which is one of the most common ways that I'll be checking offensive setup sweepers, especially ones that boost their speed. But there will be tons of other ways like priority heart swap, whirlwind, and roar, and all this other stuff, which Vivillon also has access to whirlwind, which is cool. Nice little phasing move. Not as good for you to abuse, although it's not terrible. It's mostly for the AI to use against you in a lot of cases. Yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it. Just got a lot of powerful stabs. The pure evolutions are totally viable up until level 20. You'll evolve right in time for Hala. Scatterbug you'll be having just for like the very early game stuff like Trainer School and like the first couple Howl fights. And it's solid. It has usable stats for that point in the game, and Sap Sipper is kind of cool for like Leech Seed. Logically, it's because they eat grass. I gave it to all the little baby caterpillar guys. Shield Dust is not terrible for that point in the game. There's a couple of nice little additional effects that you can ignore, especially on Spupa. It's not a lot better because a lot of moves at that point will start to be moves that like always drop your special attack or attack, like Dismal Cry and Disarming Voice and all that stuff. And then Sturdy is nice to just tack on, for example, like versus very strong Pokemon. You can switch it in, get that move off. You do have Sticky Web very early, which is awesome. All of the like butterfly type Pokemon get Sticky Web as their pupil form or even as their larval form, and those are super awesome. That's really cool as well. That's a nice little thing for Vivillon. Like I said, it's a great support Pokemon. You've got Charm and Befriend and all this other useful stuff. Roost, dual screens. You don't have to run offensive at all. You can probably make more leverage out of a utility set, or you can just run change it up depending on the situation. I think I'll leave the video off there though. Hopefully I covered everything. Like I said, Speed was pretty damn great for Melemele Island, and then Vivillon just in time for Hala. Great Pokemon. from the beginning of the game until the very end. It will be totally great if you love Vivillon, or if you're just doing a hardcore Nuzlocke and it happened to survive that long, or if you had it in the PC waiting and you want to add it up to your team and you're late game, you're thinking, oh, this mon's early game, it's bad. No, it's not. I've put in careful effort to make sure that that's never going to happen. Every single Pokemon is great until the end of the game. Maybe like it's not as incredible. It takes a little bit more, skill to use, but it's still very viable. And also 100 special attack with versatility is never bad. That's strong as hell. 95 speed, you can slap a Choice Scarf on it and just get some quick, strong attacks off if you want to do that as well. Yeah, thank you so much for listening, everybody. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below, and I'll be back for more Kalos Pokemon coming up. Peace.